Madam Finance Minister, thank you so much for talking to us. Let me begin by congratulating you for becoming the longest serving Finance Minister of India. And on top of that, you have presented the ninth straight budget. So that's a great achievement.
Thank you very much.
You are also the Finance Minister under whose tenure four of the five biggest reforms were undertaken: the corporate tax cut, the income tax reduction, the GST rationalization, and a simpler income tax. So that's quite an amazing achievement. We are meeting just a few hours after the India-US trade deal was announced, and this was 1 week after the India-EU trade deal was finalized. That deal was described as the mother of all deals. How would you describe the India-US deal? Is it like a father of all deals?
Well, first, the announcement since after yesterday was on tariff reduction from the 25% and over and above that some punitive 25%. It's come down to 18. It's a very good news. So it's reduction in tariff.
Yes, but there is also talk about how the trade is going to be increased between India and the United States. President Trump has talked about $500 billion of trade that will be, So that's.
But the details will have to be announced and worked out.
Yeah.
But at the moment, it is reduction in the tariff.
Yeah, ma'am, the economic survey had projected a GDP growth rate of between 6.8 to 7.2%, and that had taken into account the 50% tariffs that the United States had imposed. Now that is gone; that is reduced to now 18%. How will you How do you foresee?
There's no specific taking into account that 50% or anything. We'll have to see all these global challenges were kept in mind when we prepared the budget.
So, but do you now foresee GDP growth?
I guess the exports will again get back and also have newer areas which they scouted out in the last few months.
Sure.
So our exports actually will pick up now is my expectation. Other than having found new markets where they will continue to be, it's a good augury for them.
Yeah. So at least the 6.8% is the lower end of the band. 7.2% is the higher end. So do you project that to be 7.2%?
Watch a bit more and then comment on that.
You're being very cautious. You have said that this budget that you presented, will meaningfully boost growth, right? So what is the government's own assessment of how the growth will pan out?
Assessment of the growth.
Because of the tariff reduction.
You're still on that?
I'm still on that.
Well, as I said, I'll have to watch how this is going to play out.
Yeah, I was actually going to ask you a few more questions on tariffs, on the US tariffs, but if you want, we can move to the next topic.
No, on this, as I said,
Yeah.
There's been one announcement. We'll have to see how the details work out on this.
I'll just insist on asking you one more question. How will it affect the consumers? The reduction in tariffs, obviously, is going to make goods coming from the United States cheaper. So
that is when you're talking about the trade deal.
Trade deal, yes.
This is about 18% which is being imposed on our exports.
Correct.
So goods from India going there is what is being talked about now.
At the same time, President Trump has said that 0% tariffs.
That is why I'm saying you're picking up on lines on which we cannot speak at the moment till we have the actual details before us.
Right.
I want the expanse of details in all its exhaustion.
Fair enough.
Let's come to that point and talk about it.
And the Commerce Minister is going to be making a statement,
That's
so
right.
we'll wait for that. Yeah. And you have given a budget that is actually being talked about as laying the pathways for Viksit Bharat. It's a very growth-oriented budget. So, and at the same time, you have not given in to the temptation of giving populist measures. How was that decision taken? Was it a difficult decision?
No, absolutely not. We were looking at, as I think the PM said it very clearly, this will be the first budget for the next quarter of 21st century. So at a time, you're talking about 1 year's budget, which is the first year of the second quarter of the 21st century. You're talking about 5 years of the new finance cycle. And equally, you're talking about up to 2050, which means you're including 2047 which is our Vikasit Bharat, which means you're looking at the next 25 years in terms of what kind of India we need
Sure.
and how prepared are we going to be for that.
So, normally budgets are always criticized by the opposition. No matter what, it is always criticized. But the criticism has been muted this time. It has not been as vocal or as vociferous as before. Is it? But there's one criticism that Rahul Gandhi has also picked up, is that it is not doing anything for the common man. And the common man is asking, मेरे लिए क्या होगा? तो मेरे लिए common man के लिए क्या हुआ?
I would have assumed if the leader of the opposition had read through the budget and then spoken, he would have known for common man what we have done.
Right.
For the benefit of your viewers, I would like to say, randomly picking out from the budget, if you're looking at rural areas and you want your women to become entrepreneurs and not just be members of a small self-help group, we've come up with the She Marts, which is self-help entrepreneurs. Women who are in self-help group will be given all the support so that they can become entrepreneurs in their own right. The NRLM, the National Rural Employment Scheme or the mission, helps women to acquire such qualities with which they can improve their little business activity. We are providing She Marts so that there will be a place from where they can sell their wear, and there, even from there, they can also have their digital markets expanded. So we are giving that for the common person in the village. That is one example. Second, when we are saying, along with the national waterways which we are developing, we will set up institutes of excellence in waterways related services, boat repair, maintenance, boat making. Wouldn't the traditional, not just them, but traditional Nishad community, which has got the expertise for boat making, maintaining boat repair, and operations, won't they benefit because of the Institute of Excellence, which are going to be all along the waterways that we are planning? Second. Third, when we say rural areas, girls find it difficult to take up STEM sciences. And because it demands more time to be in the colleges or the labs and so on, so we will come up with one hostel at least in each district of the country. Who is it going to benefit? Certain dynas or ordinary Indian citizens who want their children to go and study somewhere in the neighborhood college, but they don't have the facility there to accommodate and make a safe staying place for the girls. Who is it going to benefit? Another example. Third, we've announced big time help for animal husbandry, for keeping the milch cows, for making sure the health of your livestock is better, veterinary surgeons, veterinary doctors moving around, veterinary labs which will test the samples and so on. Are they going to be run by big businesses or are they going to be run by local people? Is that animal husbandry, animal keepers of the rural areas are not big businesses? Are they not common people? Another one example. Our youth today, or for that matter, any job which requires people to come and service them for greater AI application in their businesses, need people to work to get some tools from using AI which will be helpful for them. Let's say, for that matter, farmers. We have announced that using drones, using space, satellites, we look at the density of the crops, we look at the crop extent, we'll test the soil. Who are going to do all this? Our youth? Youth largely living in rural areas? For that, we have announced that at district levels, we will invest in the ITIs, which are not premium institutions like IITs. In the ITIs, we will invest hardware and software and make ITI in one district the hub, and ITIs in the nearby districts will be attached to them as spokes, So in a district, for instance, let's take example of some cities which specialize in some products. Like for instance, in Uttar Pradesh, their 80 districts have 80 different one district, one product program. If technology and particularly AI is got to be helping them, the youth of that area should be able to devise from AI such tools which will help them in agriculture for productivity, in estimating what will be the output, AI for better productivity. In another place, it could be small town where they're producing power tools or small time equipments and so on. AI again, who are going to run these AI? They are going to be rural youth. And who are we training in these district hub and spoke models? Youth. Are these not common people? And when we say we have brought in textiles, apparels, and also leather, footwear, shoe uppers, for all of which we are coming up with programs and also coming up with bettering the legacy SMEs, clusters which had SMEs. Are they big businesses who are located in these SME clusters? No, they're common people.
I think very often we forget that the common people are not just middle class people but also the rural folk.
And who are running these MSMEs? They're common people. My neighbor, your neighbor, they run small units. MSME contribute 40% of India's exports. But they're small people spread all over. The program to help MSMEs is aiming to support them. Are they not common people?
Sure. One other remarkable thing about the budget was that you did not mention any of the 4 states that are going to polls, which is quite a departure from
No, I have mentioned them.
They are not getting any SOPs.
I have mentioned them and I have given them good projects, solid projects. Rare Earth Corridor in Kerala. Rare Earth Corridor in Tamil Nadu. High-speed rail to Tamil Nadu. Not in election mode. They are election mode states. West Bengal, Durgapur, and the waterway is going from there, from Dankuni to Surat, east and west corridor. Siliguri gets connected with trains. Are they? And the waterway is also passing by some of the parts of Bengal. Is Bengal not going for election? I've named them. But I don't know what they expect me to do in a 90-minute. And if I speak longer, even that upsets. Oh, finance minister with the logger speaking record. No. In the 90 minutes, I've named so many states. And every state which is going for election, I think, I didn't mention Assam. Let them praise me for that. It's been ruled by BJP. We have not spoken about them. But I've mentioned all of the states. And states which are also not going to election. So all of them are found mentioned.
I'm sure. Several analysts have described this budget as a steady and staid budget. So was it a conscious decision to prioritize stability over stimulus?
But isn't the message of Prime Minister Modi's third term a message in stability? People want stability, and that's why they elected him for the third time. And people want stability in policy, and that's why Modi ji always emphasizes on no ping pong of policy. You make sure that you announce something and you keep steadily at it. So message of stability is essentially what Prime Minister Modi wants to convey to the people, because they gave themselves a mandate of electing him for the third time. Stability is inherent in that vote. Stability is inherent in this execution of policy through the budgets.
Okay, I wanted to ask you about fiscal deficit, which is projected to be 4.3% in FY27, which is only marginally lower than last year. And this is probably the slowest pace of fiscal consolidation in 6 years, I think. So you think the phase of sharp fiscal consolidation has ended by now?
Also because I think the level at which we were, 9.2, and we had given a commitment that will come down below 4.5, and that's where the path was determined for me. Now I'm able to see if there is a possibility to give greater stimulus, I will have the option to do that. I can still take it even below 4.3, but I'm giving my destination.
The revenue expenditure is already quite compressed, and a pay commission is expected to be implemented from next year. So, where will the future fiscal adjustment come from? That is going to be a huge bill.
Yeah,
You've got 50 lakhs or so employees will need.
we have taken that into cognizance.
So, can you elaborate on where that will come from?
Well, revenue is being, I think I've given the detail of what I'm going to do in terms of revenue generation. We'll also have greater emphasis on disinvestment. So there are non-tax ways in which we can earn more revenue, but tax buoyancy can also increase by widening the tax base, for which a lot of effort is happening. The nudge program which the boards brought in is paying some results.
Right. What about the tax base? Is there any plan to increase the tax base? That has been a perennial problem for.
That's exactly what I said.
Yeah.
By the nudge method, gently talking to people, pre-filling of their forms, giving details of their accounts which they may have forgotten, we are slowly making the taxpayer conscious that there are avenues through which he can come up and pay, and rather than miss out on paying the tax.
Because right now the burden is almost entirely on the honest taxpayers, and there is a big chunk of population that.
But honest taxpayers, with due respect, I have not raised any tax.
No, you're not. That's, yeah. And capital expenditure remains a key focus. So, how much of last year's capex actually translated into on-the-ground projects?
Capital expenditure is one of the success stories that you can say of this government, because steadily from after COVID, both the public sector route of the CPSEs doing their own and the budgeted provision being given to different departments, that I'm talking of the central government, have really shown the result, the remarkable change in infrastructure. But equally appreciable is the role of the states, for whom we are giving 50-year interest-free loans. Which are loans, but actually after 50 years, it'll be almost as good as a grant. But states have utilized them attractively, and they have absorption capacity for more. And you see signature projects coming out in very many states using this. So overall, the capital expenditures idea of widening the capital expenditure, bringing more money into it, even though borrowed money, is yielding the result.
Did the budget send any signal to the private investors who still remain cautious?
No, private investment is happening. You can see early signs of it. I would think it will only expand now.
Because most economists are arguing that the government can only do so much, and the private investors must come and take over. There has to be a greater impetus from the private sector. So, can you just elaborate on what do you expect the private sector to do?
I have no idea. I would want them to be participants in India's growth story. I would want them to be a participant.
They remain cautious. They're not as confident. What is the reason you think?
I think you should have a discussion with them.
What about the debt to GDP ratio? Is there any, what is the target of bringing down below to 50%?
I've already given the destination. By 2031, we should be 50% or plus minus 1. And we will be moving towards that target from now.
Although there is very little room for spending cuts, right?
But keeping that in mind is where I've given the number.
I wanted to ask you about the rupee. Since yesterday, after the tariff cuts was announced, the rupee has recovered by about 1.5. It was still, however, the worst performing currency in Asia in all of 2025. And with the US deal now, and now that the rupee seems to be gaining strength, do you think that the rupee has got a better future? Is it slightly undervalued? And what is the real value you think of the rupee?
There's no point in me telling numbers. But once the flow of capital comes into the country back again, There are interests being expressed by Canadians and Norwegians and so on. But if large fund managers are waiting for some improvement in the ecosystem, and they will now come since after yesterday, is an expectation which many people have, I'm sure the rupee will also strengthen.
So what was the reason for it to reach 92?
There are several reasons, largely extraneous to domestic politics or domestic economic condition. Your macroeconomic fund, Ananta Nageshwaran in his economic survey has defined it nicely. If a macroeconomic situation of a country is very good, but the currency alone is a challenge because of its fluctuations, it is coming at a time when the global uncertainties are so severe. But even despite that, if our macroeconomic fundamentals, macros are fine, still if funds hesitate to come, it certainly is facing that kind of a delicate situation, which I think will improve now.
Okay. Now, I did say that the criticism to the budget was muted, largely by economists and observers. Politically, there was the usual criticism.
Uninformed.
Uninformed, maybe. Rahul Gandhi called it blind to India's real crises. And he also accused the government of ignoring unemployment, rural distress, and slowing manufacturing. How would you respond to that kind of criticism?
Haven't I given you the answer for it?
I would just like to for you to elaborate a bit more on that.
You know, I'm giving credibility to an allegation which has absolutely no basis. I would like him to give exactly specific gaps in the budget to prove each one of these things that he's throwing at the budget. I challenge him on it. When I've explained it to you to say how it is looking at youth being trained, youth being given opportunities to become entrepreneurs, and making sure AI is not missed out on all these things. Where is he coming with these arguments? Please ask him to highlight any paragraph which reveals any of this.
That was yesterday. Those criticism came yesterday. Today he has again launched an attack on the government after the tariff reduction announcement, saying that Prime Minister Modi has sold out India and sold out the blood and sweat, the tears and sweat of the farmers. He is obviously implying that the agricultural goods that will come into from United States will attract 0% tariff. So it is a sellout. Would you like to respond to that?
The Commerce Minister is going to make a statement. Suo moto statement in the Parliament. That will address all the questions that you have.
Okay. I have a question about the Tamil Nadu elections. You are very familiar with Tamil Nadu politics. Now the whole political scene has been spiced up by the entry of the actor Vijay. How do you think that's going to impact the elections in Tamil Nadu? Will he be a vote cutter or will he make a real impact?
Only the final results of the election can prove it. But however, I think he stirred the electoral pot. And in fact, a lot of interest in Tamil Nadu's elections now because the way in which his party and he is playing. And also the question of the current ruling dispensation, the DMK, feeling insecure. After 5 full years of claiming that they've done very good governance. Tamil Nadu has grown, Tamil Nadu has done this, very well if the state has done well. But why should there be that sense of insecurity now? Any number of people can enter electoral politics, a film actor or any other professional or anybody. So in that league, if Vijay has come in, which is very well, the voters have a choice. But the question is to see whether people are going to speak out on the misdeeds of the current government, which is what every opposition party should stand up and speak about. Lawlessness, drug, and the way in which offences are going unpunished. So these are, and also for a party which speaks about social justice, the crimes against scheduled castes, crimes against women of poorer sections of the society are going unpunished. And questions about how drug mafia have had close association with people in higher ups.
Yeah.
None of this have been answered. Universities are becoming unsafe places in Tamil Nadu. It was never like that. So, despite being in power, full 5 years, the DMK has not answered any of these questions.
There was some talk earlier of BJP trying to woo Vijay. Is that still on the cards, or you don't need BJP doesn't need him?
No, in politics, there's no question of who needs who doesn't need who. I don't think anyone can say, I don't need somebody.
Yeah.
Anybody will be welcome. But I'm not sure about what you've suggested. I'm not sure if BJP approached anyone to speak about alliance with them. But of course, we've been forming our alliance, the NDA alliance, and the alliance is absolutely tightly moving forward in unison. And I'm sure we will definitely perform well.
The other state that's going to elections, Kerala.
But what you're missing out on asking is the DMK's alliance, the India alliance, in which Congress party is a party within that alliance. A national party which went out of power almost 60 years ago, let's say 50, 55 years ago, has not bothered to come back, meaning it's unable to come back because it's living on the alliance's comfort. And today, even that party appears to be split. Do they want to go with DMK, or do they want to be alone, or do they want to go with somebody else? Close to election, with just a couple of months for the final election to happen, the India alliance is in tatters. And Tamil Nadu's politics, where you being a national party, you couldn't come to power, you're dependent on the alliance, and at this stage, you're dilly-dallying about with who you want to go. Questions should be asked of Congress. Questions should be asked of DMK. 5 years you ruled together, why wouldn't they want to continue with you? Why would there be a division?
On Kerala, BJP did very, very well in the mayoral elections recently.
In Thiruvananthapuram.
But generally speaking, the state is always alternating between UDF and LDF. Do you see the BJP breaking that cycle?
Aren't we? Little by little, we are trying to get into electoral positions. So we will work there as well.
So what is it? What is the USP that BJP will offer? Because the Kerala's electorate is very happy with either of these two.
We will give a corruption-free, violence-free Kerala. You saw Satchidananda Masterji in Rajya Sabha speak. In fact, he didn't have to speak. The fact that he showed the violence which resulted in both his legs, knee down, being chopped away, and he being left for dead, is the Marxian violence, the CPM violence. It is that lawlessness which CPM promotes when it is in power. And that is a sharp contrast. A teacher, Sadanand Masterji, is a teacher. You chop his legs off. Defenseless, he gets off a bus, you just pull him. The violence of the Marxists when it comes to finishing off opponents. Ideology, you can debate. If there is a difference in the opinion between you and me, I can't decapacitate you. That's the violence of communists. Not just Kerala, the country should be rid of that kind of a violence. The left-wing Maoists who are rampaging in Chhattisgarh and others who have come to a conclusion, we have dealt with them formally. Home Minister has done excellent work in bringing the left-wing extremism in Naxal-affected areas to a conclusion. But here are the friends of these who perpetrate that kind of a violence.
In English, there is a saying that there's many a slip between the cup and the lip, and the BJP has done very well in most states in India. It has been, exponentially increasing its strength. The South has been a problem. Apart from Karnataka, the rest of the states are very difficult. So what is it that is holding the BJP back? I know you are saying that step by step you're going forward, but there is something that is preventing BJP from becoming a force.
So it does take a bit of a time. In Tamil Nadu, for instance, they completely kept projecting BJP as a North Indian party, Hindi party, parties of, I don't want to say the same language that they use, and tried keeping BJP out. Today, people are able to see what BJP is, see the difference it's made in different states, and the communal politics which they actively promote. Although they cover themselves by saying social justice, saw Goa, saw the Northeast, where BJP is doing well. If BJP was communal, will these states accept BJP? So false propaganda against BJP has always been the tone of DMK. And therefore they kept creating these artificial, imaginary, enemy out of BJP.
But do you not think that the regionalism or the Tamil pride is very strong in Tamil Nadu, and they will not accept any non-Dravidian...
Excuse me, I'm a Tamil.
Exactly, that's
I'm
what I'm
a Tamil.
asking you.
I have my pride. Am I not in BJP? So I'm shocked that you're getting carried away by that language. Tamil pride.
Will they act, exactly the point that you made, because BJP is seen as a North Indian party. When will the Tamil Nadu electorate...
So people are seeing it, right? That was a false campaign.
Right.
Dr. Tamil Sai, isn't she a Tamil?
Mr. Ravi.
No, today the Vice President of India, is he not Tamil? Are they not associated with BJP? Are they not active members of BJP till before they came to the constitutional positions?
You are the Tamil face of the BJP in many ways.
Not really. There are many of us.
But you are the most prominent face. Let's accept it.
No, there are many of us. Vice President is there. I'm nowhere near him.
Nirmala Sitharaman is a name that everyone knows in India.
That's okay.
Would you want a bigger role in Tamil Nadu politics?
Well, I'm happy with the role which the party and the Prime Minister has given me. I will keep doing it. So don't...
But you will be going there for campaigning?
Depends whether my party wants me to go.
Okay. But if they ask you to go, you will, of course.
I can't deny what my party asks.
But you love it, won't you?
No, I do my party's work.
Yeah. How's your Tamil oratory?
My mother tongue.
I know, but...
I studied till college.
Yeah. Okay. All right, moving away from the politics, coming back to budget, biopharma. So, you have given an outlay of 10,000 crores for biopharma, and there is a proposed network of 1,000 clinical trial sites. Will that make India a global hub rather than just being a pharmacy of the world?
No, but to start with, if this is done for biosimilars, and there's more required to be done in terms of R&D, it takes a long time to come out with a biosimilar for dealing with diseases. It's a long haul. We have to be doing this. We should have done it even a few years ago. We are doing it now, and we are doing it in a big way now. And I'm happy we are doing it now.
We spoke about SMEs and MSMEs earlier. There is a 10,000 crore SME growth fund to create champion SMEs. It's a pretty ambitious aim. So how will you ensure that
there's another 2,000 crore for the self-reliant fund, which is topping up we are giving, which is there already with them.
Okay. But how will you ensure that this reaches the grassroots in the tier 2 and tier 3 cities?
Well, that is a governance related issue. We'll have to have monitoring mechanisms very well in place in the departments concerned. And above all, Prime Minister himself every month once talks with the district administration to know through the Pragati program, to know how is the progress of any one particular scheme, and if there are any shortcomings, is there anything that he can do at his level. So that's how close he takes each of the programs for the last mile. And therefore, I think the execution will happen well.
There's also this concept of corporate mitras that you...
Yes, that's more to help the MSMEs so that they can have affordable guidance from people who are trained as cost accountants, chartered accountants, who can help them.
So how do you institutionalize this without adding another layer of bureaucracy?
There's no bureaucracy in this. It is going to be these institutions which are constituted by law, Chartered Accountants Association of India, and also these cost accountants.
Yeah.
All of them are going to design the curriculum, make people pass through them, and therefore be able to eligibly do the corporate mitra job.
Right. You also proposed a high-level committee to review the banking sector.
Yes.
Yeah, is the goal a new wave of public sector mergers?
I'm not sure you should narrow it down like that. It is for India's banking sector to be made big enough in the sense made or primed to take care of Vikasit Bharat funding. You have to reach Vikasit Bharat destination. It needs money, it needs financing, it needs credit, it needs banking facility to reach the common man.
Yeah.
So we want the committee to tell us what are the kind of things we need to do so that banking is made available for funding Vikasit Bharat.
Can you give us a timeline of when the committee will be set up? What will be the terms of
earliest?
reference?
We'll do it at the earliest.
At the earliest, meaning in the next 1 month or 2 months? Or no? There's also an announcement to restructure the Power Finance Corporation and RECs. It's a very significant announcement. So is a merger on the cards?
A lot of work has happened in the ministries concerned. They've come up with this expectation. Let's see how they play it out.
What about raising the FDI in public sector, FDI cap in public sector banks? There is a great appetite for Indian equity. Are we looking at a uniform 74% or even 100% participation?
At the moment, I'm not thinking about it.
There is also an announcement related to the orange economy. The large portion of the ecosystem consists of these freelancers and gig workers. So is the finance ministry looking at a specific tax simplified structure or a social security scheme for these workers?
No, I'm not talking about gig workers. I'm talking about the orange economy. 1,500 labs will be set up in schools, so that children can get trained in ABCG or animation, videography, and gaming, cartoon, and so on. So for that, we want children to have proper skill acquired through the labs, which will be set up with the assistance from the Institute of Creative Technologies, which is in Mumbai. And 500 colleges also simultaneously will have these facilities.
If there's one criticism that came from the economists and the analysts was the STT. That actually affected the market, and the market has recovered now, but the reason for this tax is a little confusing or not very clear to people. Why, on the one hand, you want to promote trade, and on the other hand, you are imposing a tax which actually brings down the trade, which actually inhibits the futures and options trade?
Futures and options. A study revealed more than 90% of them who are entering the futures and option market have lost money hugely. Finance Ministry has been receiving calls from people to say, will you not do something to deter people from going further into this? It's not for revenue considerations. Like as they say in Hindi, satta was happening there. Satta Bazaar was happening.
We realize that, yeah.
And therefore, we had to take some action.
But is this the best action that you could think of? Isn't it better to maybe
allow them to lose money and then say we are liberal, we don't want to touch the market?
No, restrict the kind of people who can actually trade.
I mean, that's also a restriction, right? But restriction of some sort.
It also affects people who are actually genuinely adept at this.
It may be so, but majority, when government does something, it does keeping the larger number of public, not those exceptions.
Final question. RBI monetary policy is just around the corner. So what signals has the budget given to the Monetary Policy Committee?
We don't give signals at all.
Is there room for more rate cut?
No, we don't give signals to the Monetary Policy Committee. We'll wait and see what
officially you don't, but yes.
No, I don't give any signals.
Great. Thank you very much, ma'am, for
Thank
taking
you
so
very
much
much.
time.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure talking to you as always.
Thank you very much.